Let's do it. The Niners
I
defense
think there are a
against
few offensive linemen I might put up there a little higher than the
the
wide
wide receiver.
receiver.
Yeah, that's a big need too. And well, we'll see. We'll get to that when we need to. Let's talk Colts now. Monday Night Football. Phillip Rivers, Jonathan Taylor in a dome on turf. This is a different team on turf. We've seen Phillip Rivers. I just watched the game. He looked a lot like the Phillip Rivers I remember. So what do you think is the key for Robert Saleh, given what he's got, to slowing down this Colts offense? Can you hear me?
I lost you there. What'd you want? Now
Okay.
I can. So what do you got?
Okay, here. What I'm asking you is Niners defense, Colts offense. What do you think is the key to this matchup?
It's all about the run game for the Colts and the ability of the Niners to hold them down. Uh, you know, Jonathan Taylor, the guy's got over 1,400 yards. He's their bell cow. He is their offense. And they've got some good offensive linemen. They got Quentin Nelson, the left guard. He's a Pro Bowl perennial guy. The guy gives you a clinic blocking every week. The Niners got to shut down run. They have to force Phillip Rivers to have to throw the ball. And more than just at their leisure, but by getting them into long yardage situations by stopping the run, playing a heavy 7 in the box, maybe 8 in the box if they have to, and say, okay, we're begging you, Phillip, pick it up and throw it, okay? See how, warm up the soup bone and see if you can go one-on-one out here, to Alec Pierce. Or they got a great tight end in Ty Warren catching the ball. But the bottom line is, I presume that if the Colts have to throw it more than 20 times, they're not going to win the ball game.
Yeah, and it seems like what they want to do is get Phillip Rivers in like 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. And in that situation, he can hit Tyler Warren on a 7. He can hit any number of yard throws. In addition, they're going to throw a lot of screen passes, which is something the Niners haven't been able to stop the last few weeks.
Well, that I tell you, we talked about this previously, but that is the one thing about Fred Warner that was the best, one of the greatest facets of his game. He had a great nose for diagnosing screens, and he would be waiting there within 2 steps when the screen back got the ball, and bam, Fred was bringing them down. And Winters and those guys, they just don't respond. They don't have that football IQ to get the feel and the sense of the screen concept, and they don't respond as quickly. And Fred would be waiting for the ball to come to the guy, and these guys are yards away.
Well, I'd love to know what you thought of the Niners' run defense against Tennessee. It looked like they couldn't stop Tony Pollard at all, ever. And it seemed like he had a lot of success running around the perimeter. And it seemed like the Niners' defensive ends, Cleveland Farrell, Keon White, kept getting blown off the ball. I think they're hoping to get Sam Okwanu back this week. I think they're hoping to get Tatum Bethune back this week. But like Tony Pollard's he's a good back. Jonathan Taylor's one of the best. And he's just as fast as Pollard, bigger than Pollard. If the Niners can't stop the run, I mean, he runs between the tackles, outside the tackles. If they can't stop the run, they're going to lose. Do you feel like they have the personnel to do this?
Well, they did have a problem earlier in the season when Bosa was out with them being able to set the edge, especially on their defensive right side.
Yeah.
Teams went around them like it was a track meet. And, you would think that maybe I loosen my alignment of the defensive end. Maybe he is too tight to the tackle and he needs more time to see it and to react to it. Maybe I should stand him up as opposed to put his hand on the ground in a 3 or 4 point stance. Remember years ago, I think when the Rams played a couple of teams who were using the jet sweep concept a lot, all of a sudden they showed up in the 6-1 defense and they had those outside backers on the edge and they shut down the jet sweep concept right off the bat. But Saleh needs to have a defensive alignment that allows his ends to have a better visibility and to have a better feel for what's happening so they don't, don't get hooked. How difficult, simple rule. Getting blocked is not a sin, but staying blocked is the sin. But don't get hooked because you are the edge, you are the contain, and you can't give up your outside arm and your outside leg. And it's very simple.
Would this be a week that you would go to a 5-man front, or would you stick with the wide 9 against Phillip Rivers?
Well, you know what? I would, if that's a very good thought process, because along the lines I was looking at, there's a couple things I can go to. I can go to the 46 front, the double squeeze, where I go down and cover the nose, and the three techniques, or play a 4-eye as opposed to a three technique, which gives me an 8 in the box right now. I can go to the over wide concept and stack the safety down and make a switch call, and put the outside backer on the edge outside the tight end and stack the safety inside in the C gap. And like they used to do with Ronnie Lott years ago when they played that defensive front. See, the Niners have they've got a library of film, which I'm sure is broken down in back of Seifert and all that. And they used to play the 8 in the box concept a lot with Ronnie Lott. And they would shut down your run game. And from that alignment, you can play a three backer, you can play cover one, you can dog, you can run your whole gamut of your defensive system from that look, and single safety high, playing man or playing zone, and still have 8 in the box. And I want to invite and beg Phillip to throw the ball. See, the whole thing is I've got to be able to make him and his coaches and play callers say, okay, we're going to have to pick it up and throw it. And that's what you want them to have to do, pick it up and throw it. Because, he's been on the shelf for, 5 years?
Yeah, what's the point of playing two deep safeties against Phillip Rivers? I mean, he's gonna check it down. He's dying to check it down. It seems like what you want to do is sort of force him to throw it further down the field.
Well, the other thing, if I play it too high against him, he's going to run the ball because they have an advantage in the box. See, I cannot. And the other thing is, I don't want to play too deep. The receivers, with it, he's got to throw the ball to complete for me to worry about him throwing the football. But in the meantime, I know going into that game, I got to stuff the run. I got to shut it down. And I am not going to play two safeties high and two corners on the outside, because now all of a sudden I'm light in the box. And, that running back, Taylor, he's going to have 25, 30 carries. And he'll be averaging 5.3, 5.5 yards a clip. And I'm going to end up seeing the bottom of the soles of his shoes that say Nike when he's running by me, because you're not going to catch him.
Okay, so the Colts are going to try to beat the Niners with a relentless ground attack and Phillip Rivers sort of keeping the defense honest.